You're watching The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ MV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are The Breakfast Club. We got some special guests in the building. We have Vanessa Williams and Leon. Welcome, guys.
Ooh,
yeah, good to be here, you know.
So good to be here.
It's like Black Hollywood royalty. Y'all been some of the greatest cinema in the world, at least to me. My
of
favorite
all time,
films.
absolutely.
New Jack City, Soul Food, 5 Heartbeats, Above the Rim, Waiting to Exhale, Candyman.
See, don't say it 5 times, okay?
Listen, horror movies are my favorite genre of movies, by the way.
That's great. That's great.
Do y'all look back on the work y'all did and say, wow, sometime?
No.
No,
I mean, it's
I'm always moving forward,
Yeah.
but you know, you hear it all the time.
Yeah.
You know, every time I hear it from someone like you or anybody, you know, that's what it's really about. Because I don't watch my movies. You watch them, and so if you dig them, that's what's up.
Wait, hold on.
And
You
it's
don't
wonderful.
watch
And
your
it's-
movies?
Well,
Nah,
when they
because I'm
first
too
come
critical.
out.
Yeah,
So
I like.
never? Even the first time?
No, the first time at the screening, and then
Okay.
the next time, you know, and then after a while, I start picking myself apart. I'd be like, hey, why you hold your head like that? Your lips be looking funny, you know.
But you was younger then, though, so you didn't know a lot of stuff. Like, you learned as you went on, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I'm still working, so there's still things for me to watch.
Got you.
So yeah.
I mean, I'm happy when people like remember stuff and it keeps you connected and current. You guys talking about it, so you know, I love it. I love the love. I'm in it for the love.
No,
You
of
know?
course. I love the love. People coming back to me, you know,
Yeah.
quoting my lines and stuff. I
I
see
know.
Diddy, anybody doing David Ruffin to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like, you know, it's like, you know, I love it. I mean, if you love it so much, you can remember the lines and the scenes. I mean, sometimes I look at my Instagram and this kid's 8 years old doing my scene from David Ruffin when I'm telling them, you know, it should be David Ruffin, The Temptations. This 8-year-old kid got glasses on, the whole deal, suit.
He's been raised right. That's what
I'm
that
like,
means. That's
well,
what
if
that
he's
means.
imitating David Ruffin, I don't know if he's been raised right.
But just to know his history, though, that's
definitely
amazing.
do. I
legacy,
appreciate it. I really
you know?
do.
By the way, most of these films are still on right now. Okay,
Yeah.
these films come on every day, it seems like.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
I guess there was a poll about 5 years ago, and AOL did the top 25 African American films the last 25 years, and 5 Heartbeats was number 1.
That's one of
It's
my. I always
it's
have
so
that
impactful.
listed as
Wow.
like one of my top movies ever. I could watch that over and over, and the music on there was so phenomenal
Yes.
too.
Yeah, people watch it at the family reunions, and,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Thanksgiving, and you know.
The best part is when he bumps him off the piano.
I call those comfort movies. You know how you got like comfort food?
Dig it.
You got your go-tos. Like you got certain comfort movies that you know are gonna be good.
Right,
You're gonna know they're gonna satisfy you. That's what you turn on when you're just kicking it.
I love
Yeah,
that. I love
yeah.
that people like made babies for soul food. You know, like there was like it was like a family, you know, meeting, and they would like schedule time with their sisters or time with their honeys, you know, to watch what was going on. So all those films, like you said, like it hit us in our comfort spot because we
Yeah.
want stories about ourselves. We want to, you know, identify and know that we're important, and so those movies and those stories really relate to us. We really relate to.
It's key because, you know, I remember when I first started this business, his attorney told me something I never forgot. He said, thousands of actors are going to walk across a lot of screens, stages. It don't say paid $1 million, paid $10 million, paid $5,000. All they remember is memorable work.
That's real.
That's all they're going to ever remember. He said, do memorable work, and then you will go on past your time.
Y'all definitely did that. That's real though.
Well, we thank you.
It's interesting though because it's like y'all come from the time where there were so many black stories being told, and then it's just like the industry went totally away from that. Now they're back to it. Why?
Yeah, they're back to it now. You know, the thing we have to worry about now is telling quality stories.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's so many of the stories now that they're all the same. You know, I think the influence of hip hop music and everything has given us a lot of different stories. But how do we tell these stories differently? You know, we don't want to see the same thing over and over again. You know, and so, you know, and what I love about 40 and Single, this series that we're doing, here's us
Bring it
someplace else in
together.
the world.
It brings us
Yeah,
together to
Because
the diaspora.
we're
That's
not
what's
just here in America. We're all around the world. You know, so why aren't we telling stories that resonate with us here that are told where we tell this story in Ghana or France or any place else in the world?
Where the diaspora, where the diaspora has gone, and so this is the way we connect. So it was wonderful working with the Ghanaian actors and director, and like really bridging those gaps. You know, going back home
Well,
creatively.
explain what 40 and Single is for people who don't know.
Oh yes, and that's why we're here.
40 and Single is a new original series on UMC. which follows the story of Ibana Temple, who is a biracial, bisexual bridal designer for the high society in Ghana. And she struggles with her place in the world that's controlled by men and the women who frequent her shop.
And I play her good friend, an American, looking for love in Ghana, kind of come home and capture that, like
African man.
Yeah,
All
good
the men
African
in America
man.
was that trash. You had to go back home.
I guess exactly. You know, she wanted the real thing.
It depends on what neighborhood you in. You know?
But it doesn't work out quite like she was hoping to. So, she had to handle some things.
And you have to deal with colorism and all of that. Because I was reading that. And
Yes, that, I mean, not my storyline, but certainly for Ibana, that is certainly, wherever we were colonized and everything, there becomes that gradation of what is the standard of beauty that we're going to, accept and what, gets fostered as, oh, this is more beautiful than that. But I think, in the story, it becomes so many layers of what she's dealing with, from being half white to also loving women to, just how to merge all of those identities in what is expected of her and what she really wants to do.
And same sex is illegal there.
Yes.
Oh,
So
it's
yeah, that's the other
we're
thing.
not talking about being on the DL. We're talking about committing a crime.
Right. It's,
Wow.
Yeah, you can be
Okay.
arrested.
And-
even today now.
Yeah, and so what I love about this story is that it resonates so well with what we're going on here, because what happens is what we're dealing with around the world is exactly the same. We go through the same problems, just the severity of it is crazy. It's like here, you may be just on the down low, someplace else, it's illegal. So it's like the severity of it is just more in your face and more realistic. But the stories resonate. This film, this TV show
Series.
played at the LA Film Festival and won, and for Best Episodic Pilot. And because the people truly resonated with what was happening. Women really felt the same exact things were going on with them here.
It's universal.
Yeah, it's universal.
So there is a specific reason the show is set in Ghana.
Yeah.
Okay.
Layla, the director.
Dancy is a wonderful director.
Is a wonderful director. She's from Ghana.
And she likes to make films there.
That makes sense.
Smart.
Yeah. Well, she's also made films here as well, but she
Yeah.
wanted to tell a story that showed Ghana not like, it's this
Like we've
African
ever
country,
seen
but it's
it.
a metropolitan country,
I
that
heard
we
Ghana
could-
popping now.
Oh, it's so fly.
Oh, yeah,
It's
no,
really
yeah,
popping.
yeah,
So how
yeah,
long
we
were
had
you
such a
guys
great
there
time.
filming?
Oh, I had such a great time. I went to Cape Coast and saw the castles. And so for me, because I got this job through the people I know, my friends called me. It's like, Vanessa, I got a little job. He's like, I was like, so who's this? He's like, Leon. I was like, Leon? I don't remember giving you my number. Tell me a little bit more. Leon is this? He was like, Leon. I was like, oh, the Leon. What's up, man? He's
How
like,
many Leons do you know?
not that many, but I didn't know who. I didn't remember I had given him my number, but
She didn't
whatever.
give you a number.
Yeah,
I got
he's
it.
as a producer, he found it.
I get
Exactly,
actors' number. That ain't a
exactly. But he was like, I got a little project for you in Ghana. I was like, okay. He's like, it's this and thing. I was like, oh, you had me at Ghana, dude. So to be able to work at home on the continent, I have friends there. So I also got to visit with my girl Akusia Busia, who's from there, and so to work there, to get to see where the ancestors came through, on my one day off, I made the most of it, and to work with the crew and other actors from Ghana, it was just a beautiful sort of uniting experience. It's like what you want to do.
How long were you out there?
I was
she was there
there
for 5 days?
No,
6 days?
I was a little less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was there for like 3 weeks. And first, I want to say this. Let's just get this out off the table. She is fantastic.
Oh,
Fantastic.
Cute.
I mean, so you really she puts it down. Okay, so
it's a nice role. It's a good
yeah,
role.
it
You
really
can
is a
sink your
good role.
teeth
And it's so
into.
funny, I'm executive producer of the show. So we were having this conversation with Layla about, what actress should come in. And I just had her in mind for some reason. And I just
I'm
was
so
like,
happy about that.
and Layla was like, oh yeah, that would work. He said, I said, I know enough to get to her. So, and
So
I'm-
no
What put
audition,
in
you
the
just
mind?
knew she
Why
was
was she
Yes.
on your mind? Well, were you watching something on television or?
to be honest with
My
me,
Win song stays on
what
the side.
happened is that she showed me a few actresses. All of them were good because I don't really judge people's work. I just know if they're good. So, but I didn't.
Not good enough to work with Leon.
No, she doesn't work with me in the show.
We-
Okay.
Our
we
roles
do.
are totally separate. But I wanted someone that I felt as though looked like they would be in Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the actors, they told me like, You be looking at her after jump. Oh, she from New York. Or she from but I could imagine she could look like she was in Ghana. Even if she's playing an American, you would see her walking down the street with some people from Ghana. You would just think there's another person from
My
Ghana.
love of Africa was strong.
Yeah, well, you just look like you could be in Africa, or you'd want to be in Africa.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So that was the real thing for me. Authenticity is so big to me. You know, just when you look at something, you should just know. You know, it's like when I play roles, like for example, Cool Runnings. Like I made my body like a sprinter because I wanted you to think I was a sprinter as soon as you saw me, before I said a word.
That's called method acting.
You know, and that's, you know, that's important. So she does her thing.
What screams out 40 and single about you guys to us?
Well, I'm single.
There you go. There you go.
And a lady doesn't talk about her age, but you know.
But you do have your son here with you, which
I
is really
do.
cute.
My son Omar Wiseman is here.
Does he want to act also?
My youngest son. I have a 13-year-old, and he my youngest Haile Wiseman. He did 3 episodes on Famous in Love on when it was what is the network? Freeform. We did last year. He was on the 2nd season of that. So you know he's a rock star. My oldest is a rock star too. He's a visual artist, and he's here.
He can hear you?
He must.
He
Can feel me. He can feel me. He can feel his mama. Yeah,
They can't hear nothing out there.
I know.
He can read lips.
Yo, I'm dead serious. They can hear nothing out there.
He can read lips.
Wow.
He saw his mama
that was
look at
powerful.
him.
He looked right up at you and he like,
As I was saying, like, yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah,
Did they
talking
watch
about
all
my
your films or
baby.
your older films?
They do.
What were
They
their favorite? What
do.
was their favorite?
I think it's so sweet to hear them talk about. I'm proud of my mom, and she does this activist work, and but they like New Jack City, of
Rockabye,
course,
baby.
all day, And I was asking my youngest, have you seen that? He's like, yeah, mom. Dad was showing me, and I was like, okay. And soul food, like my youngest was in my belly the last season, and then Omar grew up in Canada, basically in Toronto where we were shooting it, because we were there. He was about 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So so that's his growing up time.
I always wondered after you played Keisha in New Jack City. I always wondered. I'm like, what does Vanessa Williams really think about guns?
Oh, my kids didn't have them. I'm not for it. My thing when I was going, I had that sort of conscious conflict, right, between the character and what I believed, and I was on some like, if you live by the sword, you die by the sword, and because Keisha, in this effort to like have family and be connected and have more, she died tragically.
Yeah.
So it's not about by any means necessary, because we're not in that kind of war. And so it's like arm yourself with education, arm yourself with good thought, and about being the best you can be, because it's all like from your consciousness of the divine and your connection with to your dream, that you can achieve whatever it is you want. So let that be your warrior spirit. Let it work through that.
Was it hard to shake the energy of Keisha?
No, I mean, Keisha was fun to do. That's the beautiful thing about being an actor, because I could be as bad as I want to be and not really have to pay any consequences in the real life, So no, it was mad fun. So it's always been, just my claim to fame, and people always loving, what she did. But it was TV, it was for the film. It was a story.
Does it surprise you to see all the trends coming back from that era? The cars, the clothes, and everything?
Someone else was just talking
Everything
about my
comes
makeup
back.
artist. Yeah,
Everything
everything
comes
comes back. So
Everything
it's sort
comes
of
back.
like I it's funny now that I was there the first time, because like it's you don't realize, oh yeah, in your lifetime it's gonna come back. So it's interesting to see. But you play it differently in terms of the fashion, in terms of whatever. Like you don't have to do. Someone said like if you were there for the first go round, you don't really have to do it the second go round, or you modify it.
I will not let these kids have what we grew up on. Okay, I will still wear my Jordans and my tracksuits.
Exactly.
You're lucky though. You're lucky that your kids into what you're doing and stuff. My daughter's so spoiled.
Is that right? Well,
Yeah,
that's somebody's fault.
I gotta go out and promote what I'm doing to
To
her.
her?
Almost.
Really?
Can you please watch it, baby girl?
Yeah, please.
But we want everyone to watch
She grew
it.
up in it. She just grew up in it.
Yeah.
And she just like
What does she want to do?
She's at her first year at Howard.
Oh,
Great.
awesome.
Yeah,
Does she know what she like is aspiring?
She's she's studying pre-dental.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look at
But
that.
She's just did a part in the movie, and she's she's doing some modeling, but she's pre-dental is her thing right now, and I'm not mad at her.
Now, for yourself, Leon, you've played in a lot of movies where you're a musician, and you're a musician in real life, right?
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of tragic things that happen in movies like that, a lot of breakups, and we witnessed a lot of things happening from back then. So did you perhaps sometimes get a little like nervous, like I got to make sure I'm, stay away from certain things because I don't want to be like one of the characters or in the movies that I played?
No, I never think that. I think lots of the times the characters that I play, especially in the musicians, they're flawed characters. And, when you have those flaws and you live with those flaws and you live with those demons in you, they come out in different ways. And they usually come out when you're very successful, because that's when you're more likely to act up or think you can act up. So I've never been that way. This business of acting and singing, because I have a band, I'm not a solo artist, is the most collaborative thing you can imagine. There's so many moving parts. There's so many people responsible for the things that you do, and so many people you have to work with that to be to be an asshole or anything like that doesn't even make sense, because you're not gonna be working long.
So what are your flaws then?
What are my flaws?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you're not my therapist.
Exactly.
Therapy session. Help me with my flaws.
In all honesty, I probably really wish that I was more organized.
Okay, that's not a bad one.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, man, I go through my life and it's hectic. I'm shooting something now, I'm promoting this, I'm doing this. The album dropped, a month ago to great reviews, and I'm not organized about it. And so unless someone else is doing it for me, I'm like a mess, or I'm late for something, I'm missing, and I don't like to do that, because I like to be a professional. Or at this point in my career, I should be professional.
Have you ever felt like David Ruffin for real? Like he was bigger than the situation you was in?
No. Only time I say I felt like David Ruffin was in a personal situation when
Oh, do tell.
No, I'm not gonna tell too much. But I did tell the person that I was involved with at this time that I said, don't let me turn into that character you saw in the movie. Okay?
You ain't nothing without me.
Yeah, because so I said that's in me. Okay. I'm just not I'm not letting you see it. So let's keep it there.
But
What happened to her?
He married her.
No, I didn't marry her. And I can't say anymore.
Okay. to protect the guilty.
Was it hard for people to take you serious as a musician, since you played like roles in the Five Heartbeats and like Little Richard? Did they think you were serious or just like acting a little?
Well, the funny thing is really crazy, because there's two schools of thought here. One, I'm probably, people would always say, I'm the actor that people most think can sing or they want to see sing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then, you get the naysayers. I remember my first gigs, my band's been together like 10, 12 years, and I would see people like this.
Show me something.
Yeah, right. When I first come out, and I'd be on tour with Barris Hammond, I'd be,
Right.
But
Nominated for awards.
yeah, but people, always gonna be reluctant because you do something, they know you for something else. Acting is the only field
Where you
find
can't,
as though,
yeah.
the people are skeptical when you do something else. A rapper, he can barely even talk. He talk about he doing Shakespeare in the park. Like, yo, that's cool.
Yeah, I
I don't get it. I mean, we play other things constantly. That's all we do. So even if I decided I wanted to play a singer for the rest of my life, why couldn't I do it?
Yeah, Jennifer Hudson does a great job at that also.
But she started out as a singer.
Yeah,
So you get more leeway.
She's-
If you start as an actor, it's harder to make that transition.
Most Def did it.
But
I
not
feel like he
anymore.
started
But not
as-
anymore.
Right.
It depends
Yeah,
what the role is too, though.
But it's also
Guess so.
different now. It's also because of, because of social media and multimedia things. People that do a lot of different
And
things.
you can see
It's-
people's expression.
Yeah,
that
you
they're
see it all the time. But the thing with me was lucky with my band is that when my music starts, it's a different thing, because they're thinking, oh, okay, he's gonna come out here with some smooth lover
Right.
boy stuff. We play reggae. That's soul
Yeah.
music. So as soon as they hear that and their
They're
butts
like-
start moving, they're like, okay. This is him for real.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to trickle off for who I am as an actor.
Yeah.
This is me for real.
I think you have the luxury of not being trapped in a role, though. Even though we remember you from memorable roles, we still know that's Leon. Like, it's not like Jaleel White and that's. You know what I'm saying?
You don't
Like,
need
I
Jaleel
thought
White
you-
alone.
I love
Just
Jaleel.
tweet
When I
you.
saw Jaleel on
Yeah.
the plane, I'm like, my first thing in my mind,
Yeah.
Virgo.
No,
Exactly.
you're absolutely right. Some people have those roles, or they get on a series or something, which is fantastic because they were so good and so identifiable, and they were in your home. Right.
Yeah.
You grew up with them.
Exactly.
Luckily for me, I've got to play a variety of roles. So, people always say to you, people always run up to you and say something from the Five Heartbeats Cool Runs. I said, no, there's about 5 movies that they
Run up
yell
to me.
things up to me about. So they
What's the
don't.
biggest one?
I don't really know.
it just really depends on the person,
Right.
the
It
age,
just,
what their background might be.
Could be
Because
the
like when people say like,
could be the
I know you,
Temptations,
what I
could
know
be the
you
Five
from. I'm like, I don't know, baby, because I don't know everything you saw.
Is it weird when, since you're single, Vanessa, if guys try to date you and they try to act like they don't know who you are at first, like,
Oh no, I actually appreciate that.
but they probably really
You
don't.
want them to play dumb?
Do they act like it?
see.
I don't like when they act
No,
like it.
I
If
don't-
they don't know it, that's cool because
Yeah.
I'm always like, oh, you came over here because you think I'm cute.
Yeah,
Cool.
exactly.
But you
exactly.
can't
That's
really
what I'm
tell
saying.
because you don't really know if
You
that's
know?
why. Because I would assume people would know both of you, right?
No, but the funny thing is there are some people, a lot of people that don't. Do you
Yeah.
ever get this? And I can't stand when people do this to you. So, oh yeah, you and I. So what are you in? Right?
You're like, leave me
And you
alone.
name about 5 movies that figure everybody saw, especially if they black, right? And then they say to you, "Oh, I don't really watch movies." I said, well, "Why you ask me?"
They be fronting, man.
Yeah, they know.
They
They
front.
know.
They meet Vanessa and act like they don't know her, and then start singing the "Living Just Enough."
But would you prefer somebody who does know, or would you prefer they don't know? If you had to pick?
It doesn't really matter what they know or know in advance of meeting me
Mm-hmm.
because the whole person is a whole nother level of knowing. You know what I mean? So I have had people Google me and think they know some stuff and be totally, completely wrong. And so that's
Googled it wrong, Vanessa.
oh, hello. And then I was like,
Oh,
and
you
then,
won Miss America.
Oh, right, exactly. It's like, no, not that one. But, but they'll like think they know something about me because they've seen it, and I'm like, you don't, next, because no, you don't know me. So,
It's situational,
Yeah,
that's
it
the
really
thing.
is.
It's like it depends. Do I like it? Yeah, I love it when I'm going into an event. I want that person to know me, because I'm not waiting
Cut the
out
line.
here.
Yeah, come on.
But if I'm having a conversation with someone, it's not really important. I'd rather they just get to know me, in this conversation.
Because what they've seen on TV and screen is only scratching the surface of like who I am as a person, who any of us are. It's just about like, get to know me, explore.
And the real problem is too, when they grow up watching you and you've been in so many different roles, or they have an opinion of you, they take those roles and they form an opinion about you, the person.
Yeah.
I didn't walk in the room. I didn't see women just basically be like,
He's looking at him.
yeah, he think he fly. I ain't talking. I said, that's a role.
I know. I'm the most devoted.
Yeah,
kind of one-man woman.
I got cast as a role. Don't put that on me.
That means you did a great job. In your role.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's how I do it. If people believe me that much, I'm like, whatever.
Why is it important to have a show like 40 and Single on TV right now? Because neither one of y'all strike me as the type to do something for just any old reason.
That's true.
Well, 40 and Single is important because, one, it's us. You see a show like 40 and Single, something like that, you think you're going to see a white Sex in the City or something like that, and all of a sudden, like, wow, this is us?
Mm-hmm.
And it's in Ghana, and we're dealing with the same problems that we're dealing with here, and it's important, with the revolution of television right now, with all these different channels and all these different networks, we are seeing Americans everywhere. We're seeing us in France, Nicaragua, telling all these different stories on Netflix and stuff. But are you seeing international stories with black people?
Right.
And that's why UMC is so vitally important, because that's their mission, to tell stories about us, by us. So UMC TV, which has a partnership with Amazon Prime and also with Comcast Xfinity. Yeah, they've been really good about putting that platform on blast so we can see our stories on the app, wherever you get your TV, wherever you get your viewing, you can go and catch these stories about us that connect the diasporas, that tell stories about women's issues and identity and just how we can see. So we see that in Ghana, sisters and brothers are dealing with the same kind of like, how do I belong? How do I make money? How do I, connect? And so we go, oh, okay, so this isn't so different. Okay, we're all, dealing with similar issues.
And I want to go a step further because I really want people to see this series because it's good.
Yeah.
It's quality. And
you
so I
see
wanna
Ghana in a different way.
So what I want to do is I want to go a step further. I want everyone listening, watching, please go to umc.tv, okay?
Or Amazon. Or
No,
Comcast.
but they need to go there because I want them to enter this code.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we get a code?
Yes.
No, are you getting a code? Because I want you to see this entire series. You're going to give you a 30-day trial, okay? I want you to type in all capital letters, okay? 40 and Single,
All caps.
A-N-D, I'm sorry, UMC
40 UMC.
40.
He's starting again.
Just
And
confused.
I know,
single.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Starting
UM
again.
start over, start over.
UMC.
I'm sorry, UMC 40 and single.
Okay.
Okay.
UMC 40 and single.
Right. Put that in. That's your 30-day code. That means you better watch the entire series.
Yeah, there's 6 episodes.
2 episodes already aired, and the new episode airs every Thursday.
And then after November 15th,
There's a lot of
you can catch all
fireworks.
6. Yeah.
I can actually tell you this next episode.
Vanessa?
I want to tell you something, but I just can't.
I know. It's like,
You shot somebody again?
You need to
who
watch
shot
it.
the sheriff? No, she got in a little bit closer than that. But, it's all about, like, what happened to a dream deferred, to a love gone awry, ain't no fury like the woman scorned.
Do either one of y'all have any roots that trace back to Ghana? Did y'all take any African ancestry tests?
My ancestry test takes me back to Cameroon.
Okay.
So that's my my ancestry.
Yeah, I don't really know.
Oh, you got to do African ancestry.
Yeah, I guess.
AfricanAncestry.com.
Yeah.
But I think
But
I
until
think I
you
got
know,
some
just
Zulu
claim-
in me somewhere.
See, but until you know, and even now,
Like I'm picking my tribe.
No, but I mean, like I claim the whole continent. I'm like, before I knew, I was like I'm every Africa, So it's like it's all in me, and so I claim it all, from north to south, east to west. But now knowing that my bloodline is Cameroonian, so I was like, yes, So it's wonderful to know, and it connects you to that lineage, and like I said, working there and going to the castles and seeing how the Portuguese were there, and then the English, and then that it was commerce. I also was at the opening of the African American, the Smithsonian Museum, and so we just see how all of European America, all of this global commerce was built on our backs, on the backs of Africans who were traded as chattel, and it was a resource that built up all of these economies. And so you get to connect and see that in the lies that were told. And the Portuguese built a castle because they said, oh, we won't treat you as bad as these other people. And then they went and were even worse. So you get to see that space, and you get to see why they came to Africa and stayed, and because it's beautiful and
you
nurturing.
you deal with the Africans that were the pimps.
Yeah, exactly.
That were basically giving us to the different fractions, whether
And
it be
actually-
the Spanish or anyone else, because.
And actually, Ghana is doing
I'm gonna get you the strong brothers.
That's an untold
Right.
story
Yeah,
that people
yeah.
don't speak. They automatically think the Europeans just came in there and stole a bunch of us, but nah, some of us were.
No, they came in there
Selling
and
us
got
off.
somebody to gather us, along
I got
a
a
brother
theory
that's
about
going.
that,
Yeah.
though.
So it's
they are doing. Ghana is spearheading a sort of apology to the lost Africans. It's coming up. I'm going to be involved with it. Stevie Wonder. It's coming up in 2019, I believe it is. So I'll be back to tell you more
All
about
right, come
that.
back,
But yeah,
I wonder if
but
they
for
just
sure.
shipped off the worst of their society.
I don't think so. That's what happened in England, but that's
Yeah.
how we got Australia. But
Yeah.
but no shade. That is the history.
No, for real. I be
That's the
thinking
history
about
of
that.
Australia.
Like, you ever see you be out and you see some of us and you be like, what's wrong with that nigga?
But no, but
you
I
just
think
feel like he was the worst.
every
no.
day in New York City.
See?
Every day.
But Charlamagne,
Yeah,
I
the
think
traffic like
the
damn,
way
what is this brother?
the way slavery was in Africa was the way they spoke about it. Those early colonists and that came, the way the way slavery functioned in Africa was different than the brutal system that was here.
Oh,
that was
absolutely.
so even if the brothers were pimping us out, if as you say, there was a different understanding of what that life was going to be like, and they thought they were doing some sort of trade for some sort of trade off, but it's wrong, and we all lost in that. Well, the Europeans in America, we gained.
Our people lost.
But yeah. But
I wonder
our
how they
people
feel.
lost.
I wonder did they realize the brutal conditions of Western civilization, slavery?
I don't think they could.
Yeah.
Not en masse, and what it became for so long. So that's with the opportunity for us all to heal, from the diaspora, and telling stories like this that cross over and bring us back together. That because we get fed a whole line of goods that it's a jungle out there, and we don't know that it's cities and gold and
Right,
oil.
this
and,
is no slave show.
No.
This is a cosmopolitan city,
Yeah.
with high society people and real problems we have, and and you're gonna get to see me do the kind of things you like to see me do, because I'm the antagonist in this. I'm acting up, just like y'all
acting
like
up
to see
real
me.
good.
Yeah.
Acting up real good.
Typecasting type of situation.
Well, I mean, if I'm gonna be executive producer of a series, I got to put my
brand.
Put yourself
I
there.
gotta put myself out there in the way in which people want to see me. You know.
That was a nice little humble brag.
Well, you know, I'm just saying. I mean, it's like, why you acting? You like something? I'm like, yeah, you gonna like it. You gonna like it.
Did you have a relationship with Pac before or after Above the Rim?
You know, the interesting thing, people always ask me about Pac, and it was, you know, from the very first day that we got together for a read through. You know, I remember him walking in, and it was like he was loud and bodacious, and you know, but he came over to me, and he was like, and this is the way he was the entire time we worked. He was like, he walked over to me and go, "You are in the 5 Heartbeats. You ain't gonna have a problem with me."
It's respect.
Yeah, right. And so, I mean, when we did our scenes, he was on point. He was great, as
He's
you
a
can see,
wonderful actor.
as you can see. And it was just that it was all the other things, man. You know, like he'd be talking about going back to some T-shirt shop and, you know, and beating up somebody because they were selling his T-shirts, you know, or passing out, you know,
Fake CDs or fake tapes back then.
No. Passing out blunts and stuff to the extras and stuff while we shooting.
Really?
You know, I mean, you know, it's like, and then he shot an off-duty police officer, so that held up, you know, production.
Oh, wow.
That was all during then?
Yeah, it's all during.
Oh,
It was
wow.
all during that time, you know, and it was crazy because the night he got shot, I was there. Wow. I was in Vegas, you know. We were talking, everything else, but you know, he was just like we all watching the fight. If they didn't stop him, he would have been in the ring. I mean, he was so loud. It's like, like screaming at the other fighter. And I'm just like, he amped up.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? And you know, and then when we heard that night what happened, it was like, wow. It was like a cloud over the whole evening. It was like,
It broke our hearts.
yeah, it was crazy. I mean, I just saw him 10 minutes ago.
Really? Oh, y'all was at the same party?
He
No,
was
we
in
at the
Vegas.
fight.
Fight.
Yeah,
I mean, he's
my
sitting
fault,
here,
yeah.
I'm sitting here, we ringside.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it
That
was.
was another humble brag right there, ringside.
That's what happened. His whole life is. I mean, what can he do?
Wait. Where was Tupac be sitting? Where the fighters get here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, where the fighters get here.
Yeah.
You know, he yelling at Mike. Mike
They're
yelling back at
talking
him.
Mike yelling back at him.
Were you surprised when he got shot or killed?
Well, I mean, yeah, but more than surprised, you know. I mean, I was, you know, upset.
Yeah.
I was hurt. You know, I never want to see none of my brothers go down.
No.
And then I never want to see any kind of war of words amongst entertainers come to this.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, come on, we
bad.
entertainers. First and foremost, that's what we doing. We out here entertaining, feeding our families. It ain't about killing people.
Let's take it out in the art. Let's direct that energy in the
Yeah,
music.
no, I mean, there's never any reason for both of those brothers to be dead. There's
Right.
just no reason
Right.
whatsoever. You know that better than me. So, I mean, it just hurt me. It just hurt me that it got to that level.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then, you know, when the Biggie thing happened, I was just like, I was disgusted. I was just disgusted. I mean, I was hoping that the Tupac thing would just be like, everyone be like, yo,
Let's
chill out.
for everybody.
Yeah.
Let's
Chill out, right?
yeah, come on now.
but that's why Payback
Yeah,
don't
well,
really,
that's because
don't really get paid.
because you're letting people who aren't musicians, who don't have careers and stuff, get involved in some kind of, you know, fake war of words, and for them, it's real out on the streets.
Yeah.
So, and I think when an entertainer cannot separate his friends and the people he associates with, you know, from his business,
You see that all the time in this industry, though.
well, it's always been that way. You know, I mean, we know the record business
Yeah.
was controlled by gangsters forever. You know, everybody from Sinatra to Nat King Cole, all of them controlled by gangsters. You know, and something went astray. You know, there was more than one Big Red out there.
Yeah, you slapped.
You know what I'm saying?
You slapped Sinatra. Sammy Davis wasn't calling you saying we gonna roll up on you when we see you. It was somebody else.
Right.
Yeah. So, you know, it's always been that way. I mean, they controlled everything. They had all the publishing, all of it. I mean, so it's been a gangster business forever. And so to see a gang or gangster mentality creep up into the business, you know, especially through rap, which is something they would have access to,
Historical.
it also makes sense. You know,
Do you
it's up
guys-
to the entertainer to distance himself from that.
Yeah.
Do you guys like the way that Hollywood has evolved? Like as far as all the different outlets that we have now, and like you said, the show is also on Amazon Prime and Xfinity streaming services. A lot more people have access.
Yes.
But do you think it gets oversaturated?
Well, for me, and probably, I don't know, we've started our careers many years ago. I'm ecstatic at the opportunities that young brothers and sisters have now.
From their homes.
I didn't have
content.
that when I didn't have that. I was the brother that was in the movie with the white boys. Oh yeah, he was in the movie with Tom Cruise. He's with Matt Dillon. But there was one of us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and so it was like, you had to get one of those 1, 2, or 3 roles. You know what I'm saying? And now there's opportunities for a lot of talented people to work.
Right. And even within the oversaturation, the cream always rises.
Oh yeah.
So you hear about the good stuff. It comes to the fore.
I often wonder about the art now. Like, is it having the same effect on kids as it did on me? Like, I remember Cheryl from the Cosby Show. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember feeling Theo's pain when he didn't know whether to study or go out with Cheryl. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if the art is having that kind of impact. Because Cheryl wasn't the main character on the show.
Right.
The problem we have now is because of so many channels, because of social media. These kids are growing up with a lack of attention span, and they also don't have that one show. Like when the Cosby Show came on, that was the show to watch.
Yeah,
there was nothing else to watch.
Yeah.
Until a different world.
Now there's so many things you could be watching, or you tape it, or on demand. If you don't like this episode, you go to something else.
Right.
Kids are growing up with not having an attention span that's very long. You know about it too. They talk to you about your social media, like make sure you get them in the first whatever, because they're gonna switch off. It's like that's where we're living right now. So those characters that resonate with you, that you grow up with, and that that in some respects influence your life.
Yeah.
You don't have that anymore because people aren't invested that way.
That was the same thing with movies too. There was one movie that everybody had to go see, whether it was New Jack City, whether it was Juice, whether it was no matter what, we all had to go see. Now it's just so many options.
And everybody had that one VCR tape that you probably watch over and over. Somebody got it at the crib.
House party.
Big house party.
And everybody saw things. You could start quoting a line from a movie and your boy would finish it.
Yeah.
Because you watched the movie that much, you studied the characters, you've seen it that many times. Now you watching one thing, you off to the next.
How was that working on Cosby Show?
Well, it was wonderful. That time in Hollywood, Mr. C was really making a lot of things possible for a lot of people. So it was wonderful. I mean, I called my Nana. I was like, Nana, I'm gonna be in the Cosby Show, And then because he was so open to like having you come back as a different character even. So it was a marvelous time for me. And though I didn't take him up on it, he was like, Vanessa, come back anytime, sit in the booth, learn how it's done. And I was like, I'm an actor, so I didn't really know to make the most of it until later on when I did start directing. I was like, I really should have taken Mr. C up on that, But it was those kinds of opportunities that he really provided. And so, what's happened is like I just pray that we don't lose the reverence and sort of appreciation for what that was because of the tragic sort of, ending that we're here at.
Yeah, people are taking
painful.
They're taking it out on the art, which I don't necessarily think is right.
Right. And
you said Hollywood. It was taped in Hollywood?
No. It was here in Astoria.
I was about to say, my mama drove me past that house a couple times.
No.
My mama lied to me.
No. Cosby was taped in Astoria Studios.
Oh, okay.
Queens. Yeah.
Did that break your heart?
It did. Yeah. It did. Absolutely. It's been painful and trying to like sort out the feelings because I had no experience of him that way, but it's just really painful to sort of sort out. But what I can know and what I do know is what good that was provided for all of us as a culture. I mean, when that show was out, there used to be interviews about like, so are there black families that have a doctor and a lawyer and that? I mean, it just was so huge in terms of like humanizing black people and what we could do and what we were possible of and how we were seen.
Gave us hope.
It did, and all of that impact.
It went beyond that.
Went beyond
that. They became America's family.
Yeah.
A black family became America's family.
And that was tremendous.
And that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. And so, I mean, look, we are sad because we grew up on it. Mm-hmm. The younger generation doesn't really know about that.
But they're on the shoulders of it.
But you said something that's that's really interesting is that why can't we separate the art from the person?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look back in history from the 16th century, even go back.
I was gonna say you have to do that with Picasso and how
with
he treated
everyone.
women.
Like I said, like if you look at the behavior of our greatest artists, you wouldn't want to follow or buy any of their stuff. You know, I mean, and lots of times being an artist, you're not all there.
Well, you
That's
said
allows
dealing
you to
with dealing
create
with
the things
demons.
that you do. You know what I'm saying? Allows you reason why you actually might have even escaped to do the things that you're doing and create the things that you're doing.
But if you do it with that, you have to do it with R. Kelly. You have to do it with, it's a lot.
People do though.
but-
They do.
But I
They
think
do.
crime must be punished. Crime, if you commit a crime, there's no excuse for that. There's no like getting around a crime. But I'm saying in terms of do we then say, oh no, the music is crap because that person committed a crime? That's what the separation
Right,
is.
exactly. I mean, yeah, crime is a crime, man. And if you do something wrong, to anyone.
For whatever reason.
And especially even
Because we all
today,
got a backstory.
Especially today, in the situation we're in now, with women, and you committing a crime, you pay for the crime.
Absolutely.
But it doesn't mean your music's not good. Doesn't mean your show wasn't good. Doesn't mean you're
it
not
didn't
a good
have the
actor
impact
anymore.
that it had. It doesn't
You know what
mean
I'm
that
saying?
you didn't cross lines and that you didn't help people in their careers all along the way. It doesn't take away from that.
Right.
And it's why we, are troubled. And why it impacts us so heavily. It makes our heart heavy.
Well, we thank you guys for joining us.
Hey, thank
40
you.
and
for having
single.
us.
Every Thursday, right?
Every Thursday,
Yes.
new episode of 40 and Single until November 15th, and then you can binge watch
Binge watch the whole thing.
UMC.TV.
UMC.TV.
Also on Xfinity and also on Amazon Prime.
That's
right, and we
right.
gave you a code UMC, all capital letters, 40 and single, all capital letters. Don't separate anything. You get 30 days free trial. You can watch this beautiful lady over here do her thing.
And watch this lovely man do his thing.
I'm a bit of a bad boy. But you know.
But yeah, hit us.
Someone
hit us,
gotta
shout
do
us,
it.
hit us on our social media and let us know what you think of it. And
Yeah, we definitely know what you think of it. This is one of those shows that we want people to see because you don't get a chance to see shows like this a lot.
I think it'll keep you talking though.
Oh yeah,
Sure,
it's
for sure.
water cooler.
Vanessa Williams is Leon.
Thank
It's the
you
Breakfast Club.
guys. So
Thank you.
excited.
Yes, sir.